Hello and welcome to Mostly Minnesota Music Podcast Edition. I'm Ann Tracy. I'm here with my co-host,
Heather Baker.
Yes, and we are here with, I'm going to say, an honest to goodness prodigy. We are here with Allie McIntosh. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, this is a thrill. I don't ask all of our guests this question, but I asked you to tell us a little bit about yourself, including if you don't want to give your age, maybe your grade.
Well, okay, I am a sophomore. I'm 14. I'm a young sophomore. My name's Allie McIntosh. I go to school here in Minnesota, and yeah.
And you play a number of instruments.
I do. I play the piano, the violin, the viola, and sing and songwrite.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. Someday Heather and I are going to say, we talked to her. Someday soon, I think it's going to be too. I mean, your voice is amazing. The violin is almost haunting. The piano, it's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how did you get involved? What instrument did you start with?
I started with piano when I was 4 years old, and then violin when I was 5, and viola when I was 8, I believe.
Did you have somebody that you knew that played? So you were just picking it up, or?
Funny story. I was actually at my grandma's house and I was like banging on her organ because she had an organ, and I started playing like real chords, and I was like I just turned 4 at this point. So my mom was like, what is happening to my kid? So then she brought me to like a piano teacher. She was like, she should learn how to play piano. So that's basically how I got started with music.
Amazing. Do you remember that time?
I can't say I do.
I was gonna, yeah, I mean, because it would be fascinating to know what was going through your head, or even if, I mean, you probably remember further younger ages than I do at this point, but does it feel like it comes easily to you? Does it?
Yeah, music's probably the easiest thing I do in like my entire life. Like it's just like an escape for me. Like if I'm stressed or bored, or if I just want to play, like it's just like there.
Can you tell us like or a memory that you have that first like grabbed you with music?
Ooh.
Or a song that you're like, woo, or something? Doesn't have to be the most perfect, but just something that you can remember.
I remember when I was younger at my violin lessons, and I was learning how to first vibrate. Like that's a memory that's always like that I've always been fond of. And I remember my teacher kept telling me, don't use your whole arm, because I was like, and you'd imagine like a little 7-year-old like trying to do vibrato, and she was like, use your wrist and your fingers, and I had to do these sort of exercises for weeks. So that's something I remember.
Okay. I'd be like, I don't even know what I would be like, yeah, putting it in the chokehold or something.
I had a 5-year-old who took violin. It's not a happy memory for her or for me, quite frankly. So, I mean, violin is a hard instrument to play, I think. And part of it is because it's really whole body.
That's very true. Yeah, if you make a wrong motion, then it's like over. Like you have to make sure your elbow's level and your wrists are soft and your bow holds perfect, and otherwise it's a train wreck. I would know. I suffered through many years of playing with bad posture, you could say.
Well, that's good to hear for people who are like, oh, okay, there's hope for me. There's hope for me if I just kind of get over it. That's and you are involved with the McPhail?
Yes. Yep. I started lessons there at 4, and I'm still going there.
So that is where you've been taking the entire time.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing. We have some friends who teach there. We've talked to folks who teach there, which is just, yeah, what a gift to have that in our area.
Definitely.
Yeah. And how did you get to where you're like, I'm gonna write some songs, I'm gonna do an album? How did you get to where you are? I mean, it's
Okay, I'm gonna try and make this as short of a story as possible. So, after a few years after I started playing piano, I started writing classical songs. And then it developed into pop in 7th grade when I was going through a tough time. I had been bullied in 7th grade, and it was a really bad experience. But I started like writing poetry and like stuff to express my feelings and like try and find an outlet of some sort. But then I was like, I should put this all to music. So I did that. And that's like when I first made my first pop songs. And then after I did that for about a year, I was like, wow, I really love doing this. And then over the summer, I finally got to a point where I was like, okay, I think I'm old enough now. My voice has matured enough that I could maybe pursue this. So I went to the recording studio and recorded Purgatory Road. And in 2 days, I'm actually recording my second EP, Lifeline.
ooh.
Ooh,
And it's-
nice.
so when did you record the first one?
August.
In August. So 6 months later, not even, you're
Yeah.
doing the second one. That is impressive at any age.
Thanks.
That is good for you. I have to, what are the inspiration for your songs now?
Yes, that's a really good question. So honestly, I write love songs mostly. So I mean, obviously teenage romance can be kind of turbulent, I want to say. So I really harness that and like kind of use hyperbole in like all my songs. Like sometimes I exaggerate in my lyrics to make it like a little more authentic or, you know, realistic or relatable. So I do use real life experiences and then I put that into music. So
Wow.
I think that your songs have a very mature voice. I mean, it's you clearly write about love song. You know, they're not veiled love song. You know, they really are. And I wonder, because as you said, it must be that hyperbole that just you hit on some notes that I would think were beyond your years as far as the themes with them, you know.
yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like she hits on some notes behind her years too of that someday when I'm gone. Like Mariah Carey note right up there. Jeez. Seriously.
Thank you.
Well, high and strong. So yes. Can you tell us about that song? Because that was one of my favorites. Yeah.
Yes. Actually, I wrote the melody to that song when I was 8 years old. It started off as like a classical piece, and then in 7th grade, I reworked some of the lyrics. Then I reworked them again before recording Purgatory Road. Honestly, this song, it's just so emotional to me because when I rewrote the lyrics, I was in a really emotional state of mind. Like it was COVID, I was in quarantine, I was lonely. It really was tough on me the first few months. So I was kind of in a depressed mood. And so songwriting was great in that period of time, in that chunk of time. It was really amazing. So then recording it, and it is a difficult song to sing. I'm not even going to lie. It's difficult on me to sing. Like I sing it live, the high notes and holding it for that length of time. It's a feat, but you know, I rise to the challenge. I like challenges. So I did it. And now here we are. I have a music video in the snow, which by the way, out in that blue dress playing the violin, my violin was completely out of tune. Of course, you don't hear it because I synced the actual track over the video, but it was completely out of tune. I was freezing. So it was an interesting experience, but
Well, I'm assuming you filmed it in October when we had that early snow.
actually, I think November. I think I filmed it.
So it was
Actually, I've lost track of time. I think it was either late October or early November, one of the two, but yeah.
It's gorgeous, and because of the snow, it is sort of uniquely Minnesotan.
Yeah, I really like that aspect too.
How involved were you in storyboarding the whole video?
Oh, I did all of the editing. I edited it, I synced it up with the track. Actually, I can do that because I've been like filming pretend movies with my best friends ever since I was like 8, and I was always in charge of editing. So I just knew how to do it. So it came in handy later in life. So I edited it, put the track under, and also I directed my dad, who was the cameraman. I directed him, and like when it's swirling, that was him running around me in circles. Like, so a lot of our family like laughs when they watch that part because they know my dad was like running around me, and every time he like went behind my head, I was like faster. Yeah.
What is that like to direct your dad? I don't know that I could do it now.
Actually, he was pretty flexible with me. After a while, we were standing out there in the cold, it's like freezing outside, and we've been out there for like hours, like filming, and he's like, "Can we go inside now?" And I was like, "Okay." Of course, my violin needed a break, so I had to film that scene like that fast. Otherwise, like the strings would have like unraveled, and it would have been not good for my poor violin. So,
No.
yeah.
Or for you, it's a gorgeous dress, but it's not a warm dress.
No.
No.
I was gonna say the violin offers such a emotion to that song. When
Thanks.
you're writing your songs now, do you factor in an instrument to
Yes.
kind of give an emotion for the song? Or yeah.
Yes, I
dictate where it's
definitely.
gonna go? Okay.
I definitely do. I also produce the instrumentals myself. In the next EP, Lifeline, my manager, Laserbeak, actually helped me with a little bit of production. But when I'm writing songs, yes, I do think about what instruments I'm going to use in what places. In the next album, there are 2 songs that have violin in them, and one actually has viola, like kind of like a string quartet sort of vibe to it. But yeah, when I was writing Someday, actually that was a last minute choice to put the violin in there. When I recorded the demo of it, it was just me singing, and my mom heard it, and she was like, "You should add some violin to this, Alexis." And so I did. My name's Alexis, my full name.
We picked up.
I was gonna say your mom was correct, because that just kind of tops it off for sure.
Thank you. Yeah. She's always right. My mom's always right.
Now, why did I send my kid away? I should have had her here for that line alone. That's well, it sounds like to a certain degree it's kind of a family production. Is that always, or is that a special COVID treat?
Oh, it's always family in my family. Like it's kind of it's insane. My mom takes care of like all my social media stuff. My aunt is like my PR person. She reaches out to people. And then I have my dad, who's my cameraman. My best friend is my photographer. She's actually coming to the studio with me and taking pictures while I'm there for me. And then my siblings, like they're all really, really supportive and whatnot. And yeah, so my family, they're all really great about it. And my brother actually is thinking about doing the artwork for my next album cover. So yeah.
Nice. It's fun to hear that. And I come from, and well, none of us can sing, but I come from a family where that would have been the case too, and there are a lot of ups to it. Sometimes it'll make you a little crazy, but there are a lot of upsides to it,
Yes.
And how did you get connected with Laserbeak? Because that's
so
whoa.
I know. Sometimes I still don't believe it. But the engineer at the studio that I recorded at, the Hideaway Studios, great studio, should totally
Nice.
follow them and support them. Um, he actually he heard my work and he was impressed. So he reached out to Laserbeak and was like, you have to hear this kid, like just listen to the music. And so then he did, and he offered to like help us in any way imaginable, like any way he could. And so then we were like, okay, wait, we need a manager. So we were like, can you like be my manager instead of just like a helpful person? Can you like actually be like a part of the team? So yeah, we've been working together since October, and yeah, it's been amazing. A great experience.
That's fun. And eh, what difference does that make to you, like on a day-to-day basis, to have somebody like that showing you the ropes? Just
I'm so grateful for it. Like, I feel like I would have been so stressed out, like, had he not like come along. I like look forward to our weekly calls like every day. I'm like, oh, here we go. It's Wednesday. Yes. Okay. And he's always great, like to email and like show new songs to and whatnot, and like think about the future. And he has some great connections that he's helping me with, like connect with them. So it's just been great to have him on board.
that's fantastic. And just the vote of confidence to know that somebody would hear you and say, yep, I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah. I was shocked. I was like, well, that was fast. Cool. All right.
That is. So you're going into the studio in a couple days.
Mhm.
How is it different this time than in August?
Well, in August, I was like terrified the first day that I went. I didn't know what to expect. Um, I couldn't like eat. Like, I'm just excited for this time. I'm not nervous at all because I know like
Okay.
it's a stress-free environment and it's like my element and I really enjoy it. Like it was a lot of fun and I'm really looking forward to recording the next 5 songs because I think they take my music to a whole nother level, in my opinion. And it's just gonna be a lot of fun.
Is this still love stories or songs, or how would you
Some of them
explain?
are. Some of them definitely are. I think 3 of them definitely are. There's one that's not so much love as anger about love, like whatever, like I don't need you, like bye. And then there's another that's kind of just about like feeling yourself and like just enjoying the day or the night or just enjoying yourself, like having fun, partying. And I think it's just about like, yeah, there's stuff about self-confidence in it. And I really like that. Honestly, most of the songs I write, as I said earlier, are love songs. So it was a challenge to come up with stuff that wasn't necessarily sappy, but I think I succeeded.
How did you push yourself to do that? Because I used to write a lot of poetry, and I would always think, oh, you'd have to be sad to write poetry. There's that kind of, you have to be in this mode. But when you're good and you are, how do you push to that next?
Well, see, the difference is after 7th grade, my writing style changed. And I actually got the melody before I wrote the lyrics. So, for slower melodies, that's usually heartbreak or like extreme lovey-doveyness. But for faster, more up-tempo songs, it can really go in any direction, I think. And it's way easier to make those sort of songs go in any direction. So after I get the melody and the tempo and I know what I'm going to do with the instrumental, then I write the lyrics. And then I think that helps me to expand what I'm writing about, my subject matter. So, yeah.
It's interesting to hear about that process. So do does something come to you? Do you say, okay, this morning I'm going to try to knock something out? What is your process?
I've never been able to be one of those people who sits at the piano and plays a few chords and then comes up with a melody. Like I will be doing the most random things. Like you wouldn't imagine the amount of songs I've written at like a family dinner, like in a public restaurant. Like it's just so weird. Or in a grocery store. Like it just comes to me and then I pull out my phone, get my voice memo going and then record it and then listen to it later and then rework some things, change the tune a little bit, tweak it, and then write the lyrics, and then voila. But I can never force it. I've never been able to do that.
Nice. And I mean, I'm just, how does McPhail, do you learn any songwriting techniques from McPhail at all? How does that formal education help you?
Well, obviously, I think my classical training has helped me exponentially in my music journey, like the whole way through. And I took a songwriting camp there, and it was for classical music, but songwriting. I've turned a lot of classical songs into pop. So no,
I'm kind of laughing because songwriting is songwriting. I think it's amazing that you can do that, but then I'm thinking, I wonder if someone could turn pop into classical. No, you started, I think, you started at the graduate level. I think you're a little unique.
Thanks. Well, yeah, yeah, I've done that with a lot of songs, and I've turned some pop into classical as well.
Nice.
I've done that as well. But yeah, McPhail has helped me in every way when it comes to music. I don't know. I don't think I would be where I am without it and without my wonderful teachers. So
nice. We'll give a nice nod to them.
Oh, sorry. You were in the New York University summer workshop too?
yes, I was.
What?
Yeah, I was.
Can you tell us about that?
Well, it was a great experience. Like, again, the instructors were wonderful, lovely people. I loved getting to collaborate with other songwriters who shared my passion. It was a lot of fun. And I loved getting critiqued because, I want to be the best I can be. Although it was kind of sad that I didn't get to go to New York and like be in a dorm for 2 weeks and go to like performances like we were supposed to because of COVID. So it was just over Zoom. But, I think they still did a really good job of keeping us really entertained and entertaining us and all of that sort of good stuff. So
have you wrote with somebody before like they did?
No, I have never collaborated with somebody before that. I'm like so bashful when it comes to like putting my ideas in front of other people. So I was like sitting there and I was like, can we change the chord? But like I didn't want to say that to them. So it really just ended up them doing most of the work and I was just too shy to contribute until like the last few days of the program. So, but I think now if I want to collab with somebody, it'll be easier than it would have been at the beginning of summer.
We've interviewed a lot of musicians, a lot of women musicians especially, and the one thing that we hear time and time again, several with musicians of all ages, kind of, you might be the youngest one, but we've had a couple of other teenagers, up to people about my age, and they will forever say, I wish I had found my voice, that ability to say, can we change the chord early?
Yeah.
So if you've got it now, and I can only imagine the heartbreak to not go to New York City, but you learned a lot in the program regardless.
Yes, I did. I definitely did. I don't think Purgatory Road would have sounded the same if I hadn't gotten some critiques on it. Yeah.
Well, and I always think it speaks so well. Somebody who's really good at their craft or really knows a subject well when they're happy to get criticism.
Yeah.
which is amazing. I mean, that really is that focus on being better.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy it, especially because my family like supports me, but they're not like as musical as I am. Like they pursue different subjects and different workforces in life. And so, I mean, they just are like, yay, it's great, or like, that one was okay. But I don't really get like criticism on how I can make it better or what I can change to make it even better than it already is. So, going to the NYU program and having Laserbeak as my manager and all that has really helped in that area.
It's yeah. You don't always want criticism from your family, even if they were, just saying. And that's, yeah. Well, thinking about the difference that it made, how, in the timing of the album, how has COVID been a piece of this? I mean,
honestly, it kind of made it really difficult to get my stuff out there because I like singing live in concert, and I think a lot of people enjoy that because it's more intimate than like hearing it online or seeing a music video. So that has been really difficult for me. I try to post something on my Instagram every week of me playing a piece or, playing like Vivaldi or Chopin or something. But it just, I love singing in front of people. I love having an audience. Like, I love interacting with them. It's like what I've been doing since I was 4. So not having that for months and months has been really difficult with every instrument, violin, piano, voice, all of it. Yeah.
Tell us where you have played, because that list is pretty spectacular.
Thank you. I've played at the International Market Square, or I didn't play there. I sang there. I sang "Think of Me" from Phantom of the Opera there for my school's bash last year, and it was like the most wonderful night of my life. And I hit the high note, and I didn't voice crack, and I was so proud of myself.
Oh, with all your classmates, and that's got to be the most nerve-wracking.
I mean, I wasn't that nervous. Because see, this sensation comes over me once I touch my instrument or I grab the microphone, like the nerves go away as soon as that happens. Like I know it's weird, but like that's always happened to me in concert. Like once I get on the stage and I'm like settled and I like look out at my audience, I'm like, okay, we got it. And then you just perform. And I performed the best I ever performed that song that night. And I was really proud of myself. So that's like the highlight of 2023.
My heart is bigger for you, because that is an audience you really, that's more than playing for the king and queen of wherever, your peers. That's a tough, especially if you said you've had some experience with bullying in the past,
Yeah.
Oh.
But I switched schools after that, and the new school that I go to, that I've been going to since 8th grade, like it's like a second family. So it's great.
Nice. If you want, you can tell us what school it is.
Oh, it's Breck.
Which is a very good school. So it's nice to give them a little plug if you feel that way. That's. And are you involved? Are you in the musicals there? Are you involved with?
Very much so. Yep. I've been in all the musicals since I went there. The 8th grade musical, the 9th grade musical, this year's online play, and now I'm going to be performing at the cabaret this year that's taking place of the musical. And it's like going to be recorded and filmed and whatnot. So it's going to be great. And I'm excited to do that.
Nice. Have you been all online, offline? How is school going for you?
So at the beginning of the year, it was like a hybrid model. So it was like these people these days and these people these days, and then alternate every week. But then it went distance for a little bit after COVID got worse. in like November. And now when second semester starts next week, the week after that, one of those two, I'm not completely sure. We're going back to hybrid, but I'm going to stay distanced because I personally think it's the best choice. I mean, there's a vaccine soon. I don't want to risk it. Like, it's just better to wait at this point, in
Yep.
my opinion. So,
Yep. That's what we're doing over here too. Although it's for my kid who's still in high school, it's been all online since last March.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was really difficult. It's been so difficult.
It is. You've made good use of the time though.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I'm going to go back because I interrupted you. You were telling us the different places you had played.
Yes. Okay. And then there was the convention center. I played there twice. Once as a violin soloist for McPhail, and it was like their annual fundraiser, like 1,000 people there, and I'm like, how old? Playing the violin, 9, 10, and I'm just like in front of all those people. And then a couple years later, I played the piano as a soloist there, probably was 11, 12. And yeah, but it was a great experience, and I would totally do it again if COVID wasn't happening.
Well, I feel like you'll be playing a lot more places because once the world opens up, and now that people have had an opportunity to, more people can hear you. That is one of the advantages now with a lot of the online stuff.
Yeah, true. Social media is a big help. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you were saying your mom helps with that, and
yes,
I think you did a Christmas the Mariah Carey. I love that video.
Thank you.
Yeah, you did, yes. And you really do an amazing job at it.
Thank you so much.
That's absolutely fantastic. So if you could think of some places that you want to play once the world opens, will you be able to do a tour? Is that something you'd be interested in?
I would love to do that. Like, I love traveling. I love seeing new places. I don't like staying in one place for too long when I'm traveling. I like going to different parts of the state, parts of the country I'm in. Like, so I think that's like one thing that's definitely like really nice for, a singer or someone who tours to have, like, in their personality. Like, they like to move around a lot. But yeah, I would love to tour. And of course I want to like play here and sing in Minnesota and like be able to be like, this is my hometown. You guys are amazing.
Do you have a favorite spot that you would wish to play here?
First Avenue would be fun. I can't think of the name of it, but that big stage that like Jingle Ball's always at, and it's like giant. Like, it's like
it's terrible. I've dropped kids off at Jingle Bell, and I still can't remember what it is. Shoot.
Is it like?
It used to be a Target Center, didn't it? Am I thinking of the same thing?
Maybe. I don't know. There's just a bunch of concerts there that I've gone to like in my life. So I've always been like, oh, one day I want to play on that stage, or I want to perform on that stage for like a bunch of people. Big, small chance of that happening, but I hope.
Yeah.
A small chance of someone putting out two albums before they're 15 as well. So I think I have faith that we'll see you on some of these big stages. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Do you have any plans to do any more videos? Have you wrote out a contract for your dad and figured out the availability of him?
Well, the weekends, he's home on Friday and the weekend, so anytime then, but actually, in my next album, this is kind of a spoiler. There's a song called 2018 Stargazing. So I want to go up like in like a place with not that much artificial light and like film at night, like with a lake and like under the stars for that song. There's a music video.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, that's like my goal.
Find some
That's
place where you might even see some northern lights.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I've never seen the Northern Lights. I want to so bad. Yeah.
Well, now you have a reason for the whole family to take a little vacation
Exactly.
up to Grand Rapids or Brainerd or
Mhm.
I think that would be amazing.
Yes, it would.
For folks who are listening, tell us where we can find you online.
Okay. Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. That's where the music video is. And yeah, so any of those places. Oh, Amazon Music as well. So any of those places, yeah. It'd be great if you could follow me or take a listen to my stuff. I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's absolutely worth doing. And it's fun to see how involved you are in all of it. You said that your mom helps with a lot of the social media stuff, but are you involved too with like, picking out the pictures for the website and doing this to be a huge learning experience all the way around.
Yes, I definitely pick my own content and upload that. But my mom, she mostly like interacts with other people on my social medias while I post my own stuff because I'm kind of bad at that and I'm forgetful. So I like don't mean to neglect to do it, but I just sometimes forget. So she's always there to help in that scenario.
Nice. And it sounds like you have a brother who might be able to help with some of the art when it comes down to it.
Oh, definitely, for sure.
Nice. Well, they said someday Heather and I are gonna say, we knew her back in 2021. Are you joking? Just you have the you just have that something that makes you have an amazing voice and you can play so many instruments and that, but on top of that there's also just where you're like, whoa, you have that whoa factor. Mm-hmm. I know that we will be seeing you, and you've got with the connection with Laserbeak and with McPhail, and you're just nowhere but up. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we will look forward to do you have a title for the new album?
Lifeline.
Sorry, you did tell us Lifeline. So we will look forward to Lifeline. We're going to look forward to the video with the stars. So
great.
Thank you for being our star today.
Thank you.